7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's now time for the Pony Cake Sports Podcast with your hosts, Josh Stevens, Tim Thompson, and Tom Schultz. Woo!
God damn it, if I fucking make this kid pass out when he starts having a seizure, I'm going to jail. That's all I can think.
Well, I tried to help him during the middle of it. I was trying to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
But
Tim, pick up Robbie Anderson.
Nope.
Cole Beasley.
I already picked up Robbie.
He's right here.
Oh, is he? Never mind. Different league. My fault. So let's talk about the league. We're recorded.
Oh, okay.
I got a
Oh,
good
what the
chunk
fuck?
of that in there.
All
So,
right.
let's talk about the draft.
All right.
Let's talk about some. Sorry to surprise you guys like that.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted the full story on the show.
No, we don't need the full story. We don't need to relive. We don't need to relive that. I'm sure Jerry's already not happy with it. And,
Jerry probably doesn't remember getting choked out.
well, he to his credit, he did not get choked out fully, even though you said you lifted his arm WWE style and it went down.
It's a true
I
story.
thought his arm went down and went and pushed off of Tim's body. I could be wrong. I don't know.
No,
I was in the window yelling out and stuff. So.
I'm never saying he was out. Never. I'm never saying that he was fall. But like Jerry said, he didn't slam me as hard as he could, which I don't think he did. He still did slam me pretty hard though. I must say I felt that the next day. But I was definitely not doing my damnedest there to put him completely unconscious towards the end.
Takeaways from the draft. Initial takeaways. Thoughts, comments, concerns.
It was a good time. The whole one thing kind of fucked it all up in my eyes was Luke leaving. It kind of put a damper on everything. And I think if we would have finished in one fell swoop and then been able to hang out after, it would have been a better time.
Well, I want to know here. When did this? I know Spencer proposed the name change. You know, early when we were doing proposals and stuff, name change because we're not politically correct anymore. The world's not politically correct. I did not know that we voted and agreed upon Luke's Fantasy Football League as the new fucking league name, because that's apparently the way it all went. Definitely turned a fun time into like a 9.5 hour draft. I fell asleep in the bathroom on a break. Mike just vanished up and left. Not good. Not good. It would have been much better to just finish it out. I know. I'm just saying that moving forward, we just can't have that anymore.
That can't happen again.
Yeah, I feel like if one of those situations do arise, it's got to be one or two things. He can tell somebody who he wants to draft in certain situations. That's fine. If he wants to tell Joey, whatever, not a big deal. If he wants to have somebody there draft for him, that's fine as well. Don't care. And what you need to do is make a best available or best that you want in your queue, and then whatever happens is whatever happens, and that's your team.
Well, beyond that, the guy took Eric Decker and Ted Ginn while he was here, so auto draft was probably better than whatever the hell he was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. So
Luke was, and he's gonna deny it now, and he kept saying that he was just more shocked. But Luke was not happy with all the hate of his drafting abilities draft day.
As we continue, draft board's right here.
Okay,
We can set
here, I'll set it up.
That way we can see what we have.
I feel like after the CJ Anderson pick, he was...
Grab that other chair over there, Tim.
I got it.
There we go. Oh, maybe just no. We'll need to.
Yeah.
That way we can see what what we did here. Believe me, setting the rest of the shit up that next day was not that bad. But the only way I could do it is I had to reset everything, and I got text messages from Tom that the world was on fire. I got text messages from Joey removed me as a league manager. I'm like, dude, just let me do my thing. I'll have the team set up in just a minute. It took me an hour and a half to do it.
Well, the best was I woke up the next morning at like 5:30, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like kind of in a haze a little bit, you know. I'm like, all right, let's see how I did. I'm like, well, this isn't good. It took me a minute. I'm like, oh, okay. Hopefully, Josh, I went through your text, and you're like, shut the fuck up, everyone.
Yeah, it basically what it was, a lot of the trades that were happening, I couldn't figure them out, and that's what happens when I start drinking, so I just reset everything, and I said, you know what, it is what it is, at least we have it on paper, and then I re-uploaded it, and the other thing that was screwed up is Justin was one pick heavy, and I was one pick short.
Collusion.
And then he picked in your spot, but I think that was supposed to go to me. I'm not sure what it was. Essentially, I told Justin that he had to drop his last guy. I think it was DeAndre Washington, and I just picked somebody off of waivers, which I already dropped already, so it didn't really matter.
Well, what about me, who missed out my pick? He picked in my spot. How dare you?
Your roster was full.
Well,
Yep. All right, so let's go through the draft. We have it right here in front of us. Were you guys shocked at all with pick 1 and 2? Was it funny or no?
I loved it.
It was fucking gay.
I loved it. Honestly, you know what? Because I'll admit, when I was a fangirl, right? When Justin came out and said there's been a trade, I was like, yes! I was so excited. I thought the world was gonna be on fire. And then he was like, and it's traded to Josh. And I was like a WWE little kid, like, no! No, what do you mean the Undertaker's in the casket? No! It was awful.
It was funny. We had that deal struck up when we first made our Mike Evans deal. There were 2 parts of it. I was going to take Leonard Fournette. He was going to take Joe Mixon. We were going to flip-flop at the draft because it was funny. And then I could not trade Mike Evans to Joey for the rest of my time of having Mike Evans. And Justin could not trade that number 2 overall to Joey at all. So
I'm not going to lie. I think every time you and Justin make these provisions about Joey, his dick grows an inch. Like, it just makes him that much bigger of a player.
So let's go through the draft. We have picks 1 and 2, Joe Mixon and Leonard Fournette. Mike shocks everybody and goes Dalvin Cook.
Moron.
I actually said
I like it.
I actually said that he was going to go with Dalvin Cook originally, and so
I just love the fact that Mike still to this day plays like he knows best. That instead of just taking the guy, the obvious guy. I put it out there in the text. Mike claims to be the game, which makes sense because he keeps getting played by himself and by other people.
I would have taken Cook over McCaffrey too.
Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. They have another running back who's definitely going to get his $15 million over the next 3 years.
How much is guaranteed? He could be cut next year for under $1 million.
He's not. No, he's got a cap hit of over $5 million for the next. Yeah, he's got a dead cap hit of less, but he's got a cap hit of over $5 million. But to my point, Christian McCaffrey. The Panthers are building their offense around him. Jonathan Stewart is not that big of a factor. He's going to vulture some touchdowns for sure, but especially with us going to half-point PPR over the next 3 years, Christian McCaffrey was the guy, and Mike took Elmo's banana dick, did not even dump it in the coconut oil first, and shoved it up his own ass.
Next pick, Joey went with I went with Christian McCaffrey. Joey went with Kareem Hunt. Not Marshawn Lynch. And then, of course, Kevin of all people goes, I didn't think Marshawn Lynch was going to be available. So the idiot that keeps 3 running backs drafts another fucking running back. And we said this was going to happen. So Kevin drafts another running back. And I think the next pick, which was kind of shocking, who was that? Tommy Rafferty, right?
Yep.
He went with Tevin Coleman there. Bless you.
Thank you.
So I think those picks were kind of questionable, I guess, at best. Not the players, but to the teams that they went with. I mean, Kevin, if you're at that spot, either trade back to somebody that needed a running back and get a wide receiver and get more trade capital. But I don't know. And now he's got 4 running backs, and 2 of the guys that he kept aren't even on his starting roster.
It pretty much, this is what happens when you come to the draft unprepared. Him thinking that Marshawn Lynch wouldn't be there. It's just, I have no idea how he thought that. He should have kept Stephon Diggs instead of Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson would have been there late in the draft, probably 9th, 10th round. I think he still would have been on the board. And Stephon Diggs didn't make it back to him and was one of the better receivers that thrown back into the draft pool, in my eyes.
So the big issue to me was I truly have no idea how Spencer did not talk to Kevin about this. This is a big downer on Kevin. It makes too much sense for everyone involved. Spencer, with a Marshawn Lynch on his team, has a shot to dramatically improve, right? He moves up there. He gives Kevin a couple picks. Didn't he have back-to-back picks here on the flip side? He had
2 and 3.
Yeah, he had 2 in a row. He had 7-2 and 7-3, I believe, back-to-back. And ends
He
up
traded
he
them.
traded that. Well, he traded the one to Tom,
Yeah.
and Tom ended up taking Rob Kelly. But if you give Kevin 7-2 and then another pick later, you probably don't even have to give up both. Or even if you want to, 7-2 and 7-3 for 6-5 and have Kevin give you another eighth. Then you're going to jump up. You're going to get a Marshawn Lynch. Kevin's able to go and just kind of build his team in the depth there. He can explain that to dumb Kevin. Use crayons, color him a fucking picture. It doesn't matter. And Spencer's team is fucking built and ready to go. He's a contender then. He's a contender with that. Then you're talking having Jordan Howard and Marshawn Lynch going into the season with those 4 wide receivers. You're thrilled. You're absolutely thrilled. Instead, you got Frank Gore, who's 85.
Yeah, at that point in time, I think Spencer should have definitely reached out to Kevin and see what he was going to do, but obviously it didn't happen.
See what happens when you have 2 dumb people.
It is what it is, man. Move on. Tommy right there. He took Tevin Coleman. And then, shocker, Luke ends up taking C.J. Anderson there.
Love the pick. Well, probably one of the only picks I liked from Luke the whole day. But love it mostly to see the deflated look in the corner on Spencer's face.
He was shocked.
And multiple people were like so shocked. I mean, he was going to go sometime soon after that. Like, what do you care? You're not going to get him. Spencer, literally, I think he threw his the paper with the 3 names he had written on it. He had 3 names for his whole draft. Current just crumbled up and threw away. He's like, all right, fuck it. Let's see what happens. Here, Tom, take control.
Yeah, it was funny because sitting there at the 12th spot, I had Tevin Coleman penciled, ready to go, and I had C.J. Anderson if Tevin Coleman was gone. And they were both gone, so I was kind of shocked, a little confused. Didn't think that was going to happen that early. I thought Tevin for sure. C.J. Anderson definitely not. So was a little shocking. And I think Mike thought he pulled a fast one on me and took Jimmy Graham right in front of me. Needless to say, Mike, I'm sorry. My goal was never to take a tight end that early. So I know I had a lot of people thinking that, but it was always to get that running back or wide receiver early and then kind of getting that Jacquizz Rodgers later on, which I ended up having to move up, but I ended up getting it done.
I was a little bit shocked that, I love that pick by Mike, by that Jimmy Graham pick I love. And Josh, your Larry Fitz pick, I love that as well. Not that obviously we knew it was going to be heavy, but 9 out of the first 10 picks were running backs.
Yeah.
So even with the half-point PPR, it shows that running back's still king.
Let's move on to a couple other guys. And Tommy actually ended up getting Tevin Coleman and Mike Gillislee. Justin ended up getting Dante Moncrief. Dante Moncrief was a guy that you never brought the garbage can down here.
No, I'll go get it.
Dante Moncrief was the guy that Justin was targeting all along, and I feel like if Moncrief was gone, it was probably going to be Corey Coleman. So I think Justin getting his guy, he was pretty happy with that. Tommy getting Mike Gillislee, and then also getting Tevin Coleman, that's an extra bonus right there.
Yeah, I was shocked he picked Gillislee. I know he wasn't a big-time fan of him. He probably would have went C.J. Anderson there if Luke didn't take him. But I don't mind getting the combo of Tevin Coleman and Gillislee there, pair him up with the Todd Gurley, kind of play the matchups. But that New England backfield, it's going to be tough to predict, and I'm not expecting much out of Gillislee this week, so he's probably going to have to play Coleman against the Bears.
Where did Tommy take McFadden? What round did he take?
It was late.
Was it late? I don't think it was that late. I could be wrong.
I think it was after the 10th, I think.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I'll find him. You
Yeah,
guys
take a
keep
look on the
talking.
board. What I was kind of shocked with was Mark Ingram getting taken so late at pick, 78 there? That's late as hell.
I didn't want Ingram on my team, but I thought the value was good there, and getting him as my running back 4 at the time, I really couldn't complain.
Let's talk for a second here, and I still can't find fucking McFadden, so I don't really care anymore. It's a game we played during draft day. We got to hear everyone's input, kind of, but no one was willing to take shots. Apparently, round 6,
129.
Okay, 129, sure. Your least favorite pick of the first round?
Mine was C.J. Anderson.
I like C.J. Anderson there. I know a lot of people won't, but he's the guy right now. I'm going to go with Mike Gillislee. Just not a believer in him.
I'm also going to go Mike Gillislee. I almost would have preferred him going Mark Ingram there.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. Yeah, there's so many running backs there, and now with Edelman out, I think they're going to use those running backs more than what we thought, and it's going to be more of a guessing game. I feel like Rex Burkhead could get a game that is going to be 10 touches. We can see Mike Gillislee get 3 touches. We could see James White get 6, and we can see Deion Lewis. Who knows with that backfield? It's so crazy. I don't even know where to begin with that.
I agree. Going on to the start of the 7th, you already mentioned Coleman. Tom, you were real hopped up about Rob Kelly.
I love Rob Kelly. Kind of haven't been talking about him too much.
Intentionally, yep.
Yeah, and I like how he's looked this offseason. I wanted a part of this Redskins offense. I'm kind of a big believer in that, getting part of those explosive offenses. And I think the Redskins are going to be in the red zone a lot. And Samaje Perine has shown he is not even close to being ready right now. He's struggling pass blocking, struggling running, struggling with his ball security, and Rob Kelly is showing in the preseason that he can do that. So getting him as my running back 3, I think he'll be able to keep me above water until Zeke comes back.
And then Spencer went Frank Gore. I know I was highly critical of this pick. Tom, you're a big Colts fan, and obviously you're the GM of this team. So what are your thoughts on that pick?
I'm the GM of Spencer's team now, too?
Yeah, we saw all the communication. Why do you think you got pick 7-2? That was payment. That was the down payment, baby.
Because I offered him the best trade. People are Jews on draft day and don't want to offer people shit.
Spencer's
like,
a Jew every
give
day.
me 7-2 and I'll give you a 9 for it. That's like what Josh Schultz was offering him. No, I
offered him a good trade for that pick.
Not as good as mine, though.
Yeah, no, not as good as yours, but I offered a decent trade.
But most people are afraid to give out heavy draft capital. I'm not. I don't mind the front. It was 8-1 and a 10 for that and like a 12.
All right.
I originally offered 2 8s, but he didn't have a 10. So it would have been better. But Gore, he's playing in a good offense. The Colts are going to be using him a lot, especially with Andrew Luck being out right now. Not really sure when he's coming back. He's probably going to be getting over 20 touches a game until Luck gets back, in all honesty. So I think he's going to be a good play the first couple weeks of the year. Good sneaky play. I still think he's got some tread left on those tires, but yeah, he's getting old. No chance for him to be kept next year, so that's one thing I do not like about the pick.
And in saying that, Tom will also tell you Marlon Mack is available, Spencer, whenever you want to come.
No, he'll probably be a keeper next year, man, because he's going to be starting by the end of the year.
So let's go to the next few picks here in a row. Corey Davis, Stephon Diggs, Mark Ingram, Andrew Luck. Mr. Fourth is one with Corey Davis. I shouldn't say I was shocked. I know Mr. Fourth is deep, but still, I thought it was a bit of a reach.
5th wide receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, high upside guy for a 5th wide receiver.
It's a bit of a reach, but he just got one of the most consistent wide receivers in the game at the end of the 6th round with Larry Fitzgerald. He kept 3 wide receivers.
If I went running back at the end of the 6th round, Corey Davis would not have been my pick. It would have been another wide receiver other than Corey Davis.
But he's a good dynasty asset. We've seen the last few years. Number 1 receiver, rookie receiver, goes in the 6th round. And Mr. Fourth got him in the 7th. So you got good value there in my eyes. If Corey Davis went in the 6th round, I wouldn't have laughed at the person. That's a dynasty move. That's the kind of league we're in. And sometimes you got to make sacrifices.
Stephon Diggs going next at Josh Schultz. And then Mark Ingram and Andrew Luck, like we said. Thoughts on those picks? I'm not a fan of Stephon Diggs at all this year. I know we always say you have to throw it to somebody. And chances are it's going to be him because he's been involved with the offense. He's been there for a year now. He kind of understands it, or 2 years now. But I thought that Adam Thielen looked that much better. And if you're going to move Thielen to the slot, where Stephon Diggs has primarily played, and now you're going to move him to the outside, I think that kind of hinders his possible production.
The whole Vikings offense is going to have hindered production, in my opinion. I don't like the Vikings at all this year. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. Diggs was one of the guys on my radar just because he had to be with the position where I was in drafting. With that being said, I mean, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for the Vikings with the quarterback play. Obviously, the highest completion percentage or whatever dumbass stat you want to throw out there, that's fine. At the end of the day, you still have Sam Bradford, and you still have a couple of wide receivers that Diggs has big play potential, and that's the reason why I liked him over Thielen, personally. I think Thielen's a little bit overvalued, in all honesty.
Diggs is only 23 years old.
Yep.
It's his third year in the NFL.
Yep.
Last year he was banged up, but remember at the beginning of the year last year after he beat up Tennessee pretty bad and then he absolutely destroyed the Packers. Everyone was all over this
I believe
kid.
he was on your team, Josh, when he was doing all that.
No.
Or was that 2 years ago when you
It was either
originally-
Kevin or Joey last year.
Yeah, okay.
Joey's team last year, 2 years ago. My
He was
team.
he was an absolute stud. Yeah, this offense, it kind of sucks in all honesty, but I like the upside with him. He's got one of the highest catch percentages in the NFL. Great route runner. I think the arrow's pointing up for Stephon Diggs right now. In my eyes, close to a poor man's Amari Cooper.
Tom went ahead and went with another Mark Ingram. Joey went with the hurt quarterback Andrew Luck.
Was kind of surprised. I get why Joey did that. I probably would have went with him at 8-4 if he was still on the board, but I wasn't going to reach on him right there, knowing that he was going to be missing some time. I just think it was too much of a reach, but when he comes back, Joey's team's going to be scary.
Yeah, I love the pick for Tom. Makes him deeper. And exactly like you said, that's just Joey thinking for the future.
Yep.
Is all it is. He's setting himself up to have a deep playoff run.
Next up, Kevin Long took Jamison Crowder. Tommy ended up going with Delaney Walker. Pierre Garcon to, who's that to?
That's me.
To Tim. Eric Decker to Luke. And then Zay Jones to Mike.
So I was pretty happy with how this all played out. Obviously, 7-10 being my first pick, everyone giving me all the shit in the world. I had a list of guys who, all the way down to, potentially Chris Hogan being the guy. Obviously, Willie Snead's potential suspension, put him back in my mind because I needed a third wide receiver right away. And to be honest with you, at the top of my list, my top two guys were Jamison Crowder and Pierre Garcon. Those were 1A and 1B.
So you were probably feeling pretty good right there.
I was feeling fantastic. When Kevin took Crowder, I was a little bit nervous with Tommy up there. I didn't know where he was. Obviously, he had Crabtree, Adams, and Sanders already, so felt pretty good that he wasn't going to. So very happy with how that all played out for me. Bigger reach in your mind, and I don't know the answer, but Eric Decker going to Luke and Zay Jones to Mike. I don't think either of you were fond of either of those picks.
I'm cool with Zay Jones there for Mike. It's a good dynasty asset in my eyes. I think he's going to get a lot of usage. I don't know how good the usage is going to be.
Tyrod out of concussion protocol
Yeah.
already. He's going to play week 1.
But for me, I like Zay. If someone took him early in the 7th, I would have been okay with it. I think he outproduces Eric Decker this year.
Not going to lie. Even when I went up there to grab Pierre Garcon's sticker, I thought, how pissed would everyone be if I just put fucking Zay Jones on the board right now? Everyone would have lost their mind. Would have been awesome.
You made the right pick though, Tim, by going Pierre there. Not a great dynasty play, but that's that play where you're like, I'm competing for a motherfucking starfish this year. I'm getting the best available guy on my board at a position of need, a guy who will be starting for me week in and week out.
Before we move on to 7th round, worst pick, consensus
Eric
Decker.
Eric Decker.
Sorry, Luke. Eat a wiener. That you and Mike are talking about nonstop. I want to talk about this first pick in the 8th. 8-1. Now, this is someone who I talked up big time all draft long, that he was finally acting smart. Josh Schultz had a hell of a draft, I think. I think he did a very, very good job and shocked everyone. But this is my least favorite pick by far. I hate this pick in Terrence West.
Which running back would you have taken in front of him though?
Danny Woodhead.
Okay.
That would have been an obvious choice there. I know they're on the same team,
Yeah.
but especially, and again, Danny Woodhead is a potential, probably not, but has a higher upside with it being a dynasty league going into next year. If you had to, if for whatever reason. Listen, Terrence West has shown you nothing anytime on the Ravens whatsoever, and in this preseason has looked like dog shit.
Yep.
He's let Buck Allen, who is dog shit, look like a fucking contender for the starting running back position. I think it was more of a panic and, he's listed as number 1 on the depth chart, so it must be true, so that's the guy I'm drafting. I think it's a little bit of a panic pick.
I thought it was a good pick. I like Terrence West. I'm not going to hate on it.
I just don't think he's good, in all honesty.
agree.
Like Tim said, you watch him in the preseason, you watch him last year, he's really not that good. But sometimes fantasy football is about opportunity. Look, Jeremy Hill has been
Who knows? Maybe Alex Collins will be the guy.
yeah, you never know. Who signed? Did they get Langford? Baltimore?
They did.
Fuck, Langford might be the guy. You never really freaking know there, but I get what he was doing there. He was trying to get one of the few remaining starting running backs that was on the board. I don't mind the pick at all.
With him drafting a backup, I mean, even an AP at that spot. You know, who knows? Say he goes in there, he becomes a world beater again, and he jumps over Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
You know, you then got trade bait there. It's a big name. It's a big, I don't know. I just, only pick I think in his draft I didn't like.
Let's talk about the other two guys that were just drafted by Mike. Cooper Kupp, Willie Snead. After he took Zay Jones.
I don't mind it. Again, Cooper Kupp, another dynasty play. A little early for him. I don't think he's going. I think he's going in like the 14th or 15th round in most startup drafts. And Willie Snead, he would have probably went in the 7th round, maybe the end of the 6th if he wasn't suspended those 3 games. So getting him at the beginning of the 8th when he doesn't necessarily need him right away, it's a good move for him and makes his wide receiver core pretty deep.
It makes his wide receiver core deep, but there's still just looking at your team long term. And okay, so up front, Zay Jones, Cooper Kupp, obviously rookies. You're hoping they're going to succeed, hoping they can be long term. But at the same point, you already have 2 wide receivers who you think are going to be long term. You have a quarterback you have to keep. Outside of Delvin Cook, he did not address the running back situation whatsoever, and he's going to find himself in a very similar situation next year.
Yep.
Idiot.
With that being, I mean, I think Mike did a decent job. I don't want to not. I know I keep saying he panicked or whatever, and I totally think he panicked.
He overthought it.
He did overthink it a little bit.
He tried to outsmart himself, and I think that's exactly what happened.
His running back position's pretty ugly and pretty scary.
If the days of me having Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr., and DeAndre Hopkins hadn't shown him that pure wide receivers only can't win you a championship or put you in there, you have to have a good balance, then nothing will. He doesn't have a good balance right now. I don't care what you say about Ty Montgomery or Eddie Lacy, Mike. You don't have a good balance. And Delvin Cook, does he start him week 1?
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise,
Over
it'd
who?
be Eddie Lacy.
Yeah. So
Because he's gonna have to sit Eddie Lacy, even though he might have a bigger issue on his hand because Thomas Rawls was named the number 1 on the depth chart, but we all know how depth charts are. And
Pete Carroll said today though he might not even play week 1.
Exactly. So
that's gonna be a disaster.
That's why I'm saying maybe Eddie Lacy is the guy, and we don't freaking know yet.
we'll have to wait and see. Let's go to the next picks here. Jamal Williams by Tommy.
It was by me.
Oh, you made that pick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says
Tom.
Tom.
I was
Can you read, Tim?
Oh, I just saw T-Raf up there. That's why I was looking. Sorry, I didn't look at the thing down there.
Definitely a reach, but my original target, Andrew Luck, was off the board, and I'm getting Jamal Williams as my 5th running back. Everyone knew I was high on him, and I think he's going to be taking carries away from Ty Montgomery week 1, and I think he's only going to get more of a bigger piece of the pie as the weeks go on. Hopefully I could trade rate Mike later on in the season and get another 6th-round pick for next year in this fucking stacked rookie draft next year.
Chris Hogan, Danny Woodhead, Zach Ertz, Jacquizz Rodgers. And well, even Matt Ryan. Throw him in there too.
Like the Woodhead pick for Joey. Kind of surprising. Normally he doesn't. Normally he's kind of racist against white running backs. I don't think he's ever owned a white running back before. So I'm glad he's getting over that. Kevin, the Chris Hogan. I get it. It's just a little early. I think that's going to be one of his starters on a week-to-week basis, which isn't the greatest in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I like the Zach Ertz pick by Josh. I won't lie, I was a little surprised because I did have tight end in mind the whole way for my next pick. I thought Ertz was who I was going to end up with, to be perfectly honest with you, and I was content with it. And so to see you swap, essentially swap tight ends with who I was thinking, again, I think it was kind of an even deal. You don't kind of really know what you're getting on either end. Obviously,
yeah, I don't mind Hunter Henry at all, but
I
with
didn't
having
get Hunter. I got Tyler Eifert.
Oh, you got Eifert. Yeah. Well, actually, those were the 2 that I was trying to decide between.
Sure, and it's
and
tough.
I even told Danny, I'm like, do I take the high upside guy or do I take the guy that I think is gonna perform this year? And I ended up going with Ertz. I wanted to go with Eifert. I've been targeting Eifert in the offseason. I even once thought about trading for him and keeping him just to go for the upside, but I ended up with Ertz. I feel good with it. I'm happy with it.
I'll talk more about Eifert when it comes to my pick. Jacuzzi Rogers or Joey, we just talked about
No,
that.
to me.
Oh, that says Josh?
Yep.
Jesus Christ, Gary.
Josh, if you did not take him there, I was taking him at 8-12. Just for the first 3 weeks of the year, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect spot for you.
Yeah, but I would have been super pissed, especially with the whole weather shit this week, and if Tampa Bay and Miami don't play.
Matt Ryan to Justin. That's a genius play by him. I like the pick. I know you guys aren't high on Matt Ryan or the Falcons, but having Freeman, you get one of the best quarterbacks. I like it.
Yeah, let's finish this round up, and then I'm going to do a part 2.
Okay. Mariota, AP, Russell Wilson.
Who got Mariota?
That would be... There's a sticker over it, so I don't know.
I think Spencer took Mariota.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
kind
it is,
of
it is Spencer. You're right.
that was a reach in my eyes. He's a borderline top 10 guy for me. I just not sure just how much he's going to be throwing the football. He's been uber consistent, uber reliable as a starting quarterback, but he's been injured. But they're going to be trying to run the football a lot there in Tennessee. And if they're as good as everyone says they're going to be running the football a lot, which should limit his passing numbers quite a bit.
And then Spencer takes AP right after that. AP and Frank Gore on the same team. Damn, his 2008 Spencer is in fantasy gold right now.
Yeah, I'm not an AP fan. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah. It's hard to really love anyone in the New Orleans system.
I'd rather have Alvin Kamara over AP. But that's just my thoughts.
And then Russell Wilson.
Good value pick.
Yep. Not a huge Russell Wilson guy, but getting him at 8-12, I think it's awesome value. It's a guy who can put up top 5 numbers. He's looked great in the offseason.
Guy that's been kept before.
Yeah, he's been kept before, and
I think by me.
Alex, too.
Alex kept him.
Alex had them? Maybe I didn't.
That was like Alex's go-to quarterback, him and Dak, but it'll be interesting for the first time in
R.I.P.
4
bro.
years. Andrew Luck's not on my team.
We'll be back with part 2 in a second. All right, guys, we are back with part 2. What's the news? What's going on?
Josh Schultz just threw out there in the league, and who knows? He's a pretty valuable source at this point. He's got a good GM in Tom, so he knows what the happenings are.
Talk a little bit, please.
It says Mike is trying to get Murray and Decker after he booed the picks.
What Murray?
Latavius?
I'm assuming.
Handcuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
Layabouts, yeah.
Oh, I don't believe in Delvin Cook already. I'm already getting in my own head.
Smoke screen!
Fucking idiot.
I'm still convinced they just want to talk about dicks together.
Mike, if I will give you a 6th rounder for Cook right now. If you're listening.
Mike, don't do that. Do
Why?
not trade to Tom.
Why?
Do not trade to Tom.
It'd be interesting.
Don't do it. It's a trick.
I'll give you Mark Ingram, too.
I'll give me a 6 for JJ. Let's run it back, son.
All right, let's talk about the rest of this draft and let's move on with this.
All right, we'll go quickly here. I'll give you 5 picks in a row. Tommy Rafferty went Thielen. I went Tyrell Williams. I went Tyler Eifert. And who the fuck is that? Jerry. I thought I said Jeffrey. I'm like, who the fuck is Jeffrey? Went Hunter Henry.
Love the Hunter Henry pick.
So do I.
Little early, but I know Jerry's a big fan of him, and Jerry likes when those younger guys blow up a little bit, and that's what Henry did last season. Get him another LA Charger, pair him up with Melvin Gordon. That team's going to be scoring a lot of touchdowns for Jerry this year, and will pretty much be his only chance to contend this year.
Yep, Adam Thielen, we talked about him earlier. Tyrell Williams, I wasn't sold, huge on the pick, but it was better than my other options of Ted Ginn or Deshaun Jackson or Randy Cobb. So it was what it was. Tyler Eifert, I just saw it as, he's a guy who, if he's healthy, he can win me games.
He could, yeah.
He can win me games if he's healthy. So I was happy with getting him there. So Tom just wants to take a shit. Let's go now. After that, we have Luke with Ted Ginn, Mike with Deshaun Jackson, Joey with Jonathan Stewart, Kevin with Theo Riddick, and Luke with Latavius Murray.
Those are all, they're okay. I was kind of shocked with the Deshaun Jackson pick with Mike, considering he already took Zay Jones, Cooper Kupp, Willie Snead. I didn't understand a need for another wide receiver, especially someone like Deshaun Jackson. Ted Ginn going to Luke, that is a pick I'm going to laugh about for the next couple of weeks. I don't really care if he wants to defend it.
I'm on Luke's side. I hope it pans out. I just really hate the Deshaun Jackson pick for Mike because I can't see any point in the season where he plays him.
Yeah,
I don't see where he plays. He's too boomer bust.
He should have at that point in time taken Latavius Murray. That's what he should have done. He should have been smart about it. And I think he realizes that now.
Yep.
And he's like, oh shit, I'm an idiot, and now I got to try to make this trade happen.
Next we go. Justin gets Randy Cobb. Someone I think that Spencer takes Thomas Rawls, and Jerry took Kevin White.
Not a big fan of the Kevin White pick. Randy Cobb, I like that. He was the guy I was targeting later. Good pick by Justin.
So, worst pick in that round, there were a lot of questionable ones. I know, Josh, you hate. Who do you hate more, Ted Ginn or Kevin White?
The Kevin White pick. Yeah, Jerry was asking me, showing me the sticker, and I'm like, Jerry, no, don't. I mean, and after a while, I'm like, upside, I guess, and we always say you have to throw the ball to somebody, and now with Victor Cruz being cut, and then Cam Meredith being hurt, I mean, it is true you have to throw it to somebody, but I'm still worried that somebody is not Kevin White.
Yeah, I don't. It's a questionable pick, but I think I like Kevin White. I don't mind Kevin White. I don't mind it. Let's move on here. Start the next round. Josh Schultz takes Mike Williams.
Love it.
Love it as well. Spencer took Mike Wallace. I love that as well. Josh Schultz then took Deonta Foreman, with handcuffed to his Lamar Miller.
Love it.
Love it. I took Derek Carr. Kevin took Kyle Rudolph.
Those are all pretty good picks right there. For as late as in the draft as we are at this point in time, good value picks. Kyle Rudolph was a top 5 fantasy tight end last year. Getting him at that spot is very, very good. Derek Carr coming back from his injury, you get him where he's at there. Very good draft pick.
I think Josh Schultz got extremely lucky. Jerry didn't take Foreman right there at the end of the 9th. I know Jerry really likes the Texans, and I thought for sure he'd be reaching on Foreman.
I was surprised Jerry didn't take Williams or Foreman for that matter. I know Jerry loves Mike Williams as well, so shocked by both of those in all honesty. Next, you go Joey gets Jordan Matthews. Josh Schultz gets Kenny Britt. Tom, you get Martellus Bennett, and Josh Schultz takes Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Josh was asking me about the Kenny Britt pick, if it was smart, blah, blah, blah. And I think he was trying to decide between, who was it, him and... Shit, I can't remember who it was. It was him and somebody else, and I said, kind of go with Kenny Britt. It's a veteran presence on that team. You got Corey Coleman, you got Kenny Britt. Those are the guys that are going to get the ball thrown to them. So, yeah, it just really made sense. We saw how much I hated Kenny Britt last year and how well he did. And now he's going to a new offense, but he's a veteran presence.
All I want to say to Josh Schultz is, listen, you're smarting up. You're starting to become a real player. Stop being like a fucking little schoolgirl looking for affirmation that you made the right picks. Be confident in your goddamn picks. Stop looking at Josh and Tom to say, hey, you did a good job, champ. Good job there, buddy. Just be happy with yourself. Even if someone tells you it sucks, fuck you. Just enjoy it. After that, I take Josh Doxson. Spencer takes Jack Doyle, and Justin took Jameis Winston.
Tim, what were you thinking with the Doxson pick?
Honestly, I didn't really have, I was on, it was either him or another running back. Samaje Perine was on my radar, in all honesty. I contemplated Perine there, but with the running backs I have in place, I was looking to get a little bit deeper. If, again, Josh Doxson's a guy who hasn't shown much of anything, but if he can come back, it's a high-powered offense. They lost a lot of talent there in the receiving core. If he can stay healthy, which so far he hasn't this year, but if he can come back, he's going to play a role in that offense. So that's why I took him. For better or worse, he might never play a game on my team. He might play week 1 with all this craziness that's going on. We'll see. Moving on to the next round, we have Josh. You took Justin Tucker. Mike then panicked that you took his guy and took Steven Gostkowski. Probably one of my least favorite picks of the whole entire draft. Luke took Jeremy Hill, which everyone laughed at a lot again. Justin, Samaje Perine. Luke, Dak Prescott. Tom, Marlon Mack.
I was pretty surprised to see Jeremy Hill go there. Look, right now he's technically labeled the starter, but I'm just not believing it. I think he'll have 1 or 2 weeks of okay value, but besides that, I don't think he has any long-term value, and taking him there was kind of a risk. I don't really see Luke starting him at all this year, and he'll probably be waiver wire fodder come week 3.
Luke taking Dak Prescott. What are your thoughts there?
It's all right. Look, Cowboys, we'll see what kind of offense they're running. We'll see if they have Zeke. We still don't know. It's kind of annoying. It's a pain in the ass. But Dak looked good last year. I don't think he's going to be as efficient, as productive. He's probably going to throw more than 4 interceptions like he did last year. They've got a tough couple matchups early in the year, and I wouldn't want to be relying on Dak Prescott right now to be my number 1 QB.
11 rounds later, Carson Wentz went. Would you have preferred Carson Wentz at that spot?
11 rounds?
11 picks later, I'm
Oh.
sorry.
I'd rather have Dak.
Yeah, same.
Not a big Wentz fan right now.
Fair enough. We all, everyone knows our feelings on Marlon Mack, so let's continue on here. Matt Forte to Joey, John Brown to Kevin Long, Run DMC, Darren McFadden to Tommy Rafferty. Justin takes Rashard Matthews, my guy. Jerry takes the Texans defense. No shocker there. And then everyone's boy goes to Josh Schultz, Kenny Galladay.
I like the Galladay pick.
It was funny when I was in my 15th round. I'm like, oh, you know what? Now would be a good time to draft Kenny Galladay. I'm like looking for the sticker. I'm like, am I spelling his name wrong? And I'm like looking around and I'm like, did somebody really fucking pick him earlier than that? And I looked at the board and lo and behold, Josh drafted him in the 11th round and I laughed and I picked somebody else. So
Justin,
whatever.
I think, might have gotten a steal with Rashard Matthews. Going under the radar. You guys know how much I love him, but
You love him.
he's going under the radar there.
He is.
At the 11th round, that's some good value there.
Right now, that receiving core just reminds me of the New England Patriots backfield. You just don't know who's going to get what week to week. I don't think there's a clear-cut number 1 guy in that system right now. They're going to try to get Corey Davis involved as much as possible, but we'll see. And Eric Decker, he's had issues staying healthy, but when he's healthy, that dude's a red zone threat, a red zone. He scores a lot of touchdowns. They also have Delaney Walker and Matthews. So
we will know by week 4
yeah,
that Corey Davis is the guy.
see.
Because they have Taywan Taylor, who has looked really, really
awesome.
good. He's looked great. Did anybody take him in our draft or no?
No.
No.
He looked really good. And then Tajay Sharp has been placed on IR. We know Rashard Matthews. You know what he's best at is being a third wide receiver, not being the go-to guy. So now he's going to slot back into that wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, and we're going to see a pretty decent offense.
We're in the last 5 rounds here. I'm just going to read off the whole round. You guys tell me what stands out, good, bad, or otherwise. Tommy Rafferty takes Jonathan Williams. Josh Schultz takes Ben Roethlisberger, strictly to fight me on week 3. I take Alvin Kamara. Tom takes Devin Funchess. Kevin takes the Seahawks D. Joey takes Charkandrick West. Jerry takes Carson Wentz. Josh Schultz takes the Broncos D. Mike takes James White. Jerry takes Sterling Shepard. Spencer takes Chris Carson. And Spencer takes the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
I like the Charkandrick West pick for Joey. He invested heavily in Kareem Hunt to be his running back 2. We're not really sure what we're going to get out of Kareem Hunt. A lot of people are believers. I'm a believer. I like Hunt, but it's safe to get his handcuff in West, and getting him was it 7 rounds after he got Hunt. It's good value.
It's good value. The only
Smart
thing that
drafting.
scares me a little bit there is the Chiefs love getting all their running backs. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hunt have a big week, then
Oh, yeah.
West have a big week, back and forth, back and forth. I think it might be a little hard to decide who you're playing. Anything else? Anyway, I like your Funchess pick, Tom.
Thank you.
And Josh Schultz, good job. I have Antonio Brown. He's definitely our week 3 matchup is on his mind early, so good for you, sir. Let's go on here to the next round. Phillip Rivers goes to Tom.
Yep.
JJ Nelson goes to Josh Schultz. Marvin Jones goes to Tommy Rafferty. Justin takes Torrey Smith. Luke takes Chris Thompson. Jerry takes Jason Witten. Joey takes Matthew Stafford. Kevin takes Tyrod Taylor. Tommy Rafferty takes Mohamed Sanu. Jerry takes Jay Cutler. Tommy Rafferty takes Andy Dalton. And then Tommy Rafferty takes the Arizona Cardinals defense.
I'm just shocked Jay Cuddy got drafted there. I think Jerry was gone at this point.
And
But-
then he was texting his picks in.
But he was texting his picks in. Not a big fan of that pick. But in these rounds, really, you were taking they're lottery chances. In all honesty, most of these guys will not be on most of our teams come week 5 of the season. But that Jay Cuddy pick, I'm surprised he was taken.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Matthew Stafford pick was big for Joey as well. After investing in
value.
Andrew Luck, good value there for him. Next round, Jerry takes Matt Bryant. Rafferty takes Crosby. Justin takes Jags D. Schultz takes Dan Bailey. Joey takes Adam Vinatieri. Who the hell is that? Joey takes Kendall Wright. Luke takes CJ Procise. Luke takes Taylor Gabriel. Mike takes the Falcons D. DeAndre Washington. Well, that was the Justin pick. That is nothing now. Tom takes the Giants D. And Justin takes Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah, nothing much.
Nothing there at all. A bunch of poo. Actually, the Kendall Wright pick may turn out huge for Joey with Kevin White questions there.
Yeah, you never know. And Mike taking the Falcons defense just to have them face the Bears week 1.
Yep. Yeah, not a bad play there. Spencer starts out the next round with O.J. Howard. John Ross goes to Spencer after that. Robert Woods to Mike. I take Danny Amendola. Steelers D to Luke. Paul Richardson to Josh. Matt Prater to Kevin. Kenny Stills to Kevin. Evan Ingram to Tom. Eric Ebron to Mike. Who is this? Josh takes the Minnesota's D and then takes Tariq Cohen.
I like the Steelers pick by Luke, one of his better picks of the whole draft in my eyes. Look, they got the Browns week 1. They got 4 pretty cake matchups the first 4 weeks of the season. They are a good streaming option.
And then I like the Tariq Cohen pick, especially with Jeremy Langford gone. Good job, Josh.
Thank you.
I plan on taking him actually the very next pick. It's a way to fuck me over. Final round, I started off with Buck Allen.
Good pick.
And you know what? It was a lot of, like I told you guys pre-show, I don't know if Josh, if you got on there or not, it was more of good karma. When I beat Joey, I'm going to struggle against him in week 1 with everything going on. And it was more of last time when I started this winning streak against Joey, it's when my team was dog shit and Buck Allen ran wild all over his team. I'm not going to play him, but it is what it is. Jerry takes Laquan Treadwell. Josh Stevens selects Austin Hooper. I love that pick, but hated it because then I was up next. I was going to take Austin Hooper back-to-back, snaking me picks, Joshua. So I took Cameron Brate. Who's here now? Kevin.
I think that was a steal of a pick right there, that late.
Yeah, I liked it in all honesty. If O.J. Howard doesn't take over everything, if Tyler Eifert gets hurt, God forbid, I put in Cameron Brate and I feel okay with it. Julius Thomas to Kevin. Bills defense to Joey. Who took Jerry took James Conner. Luke took Cairo Santos. I then took the Patriots D, and then Brandon McManus. Spencer took Will Lutz, and Josh ends it with Sebastian Janikowski.
That was me.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Tom. Yep, Tom. Do you have any other kickers?
No.
Because I'm hearing he's not playing week 1.
We'll see.
Yeah, there's so
really not too worried about it. Worst case, I'll start Young Hoku, the new starting kicker for the Chargers.
All right, fair enough.
Is he the kicker?
Yeah,
He is?
He won the competition.
Wow, there you go.
Well, that's our draft, guys.
Have you seen it? You guys seen his video, right?
Trick shot. Yeah. You want to go by division picking winners?
No, let's go week 1 matchups.
I like that.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'll go off my screen here. We'll start. First game is me versus Joey. I think I am right now the biggest underdog going into week 1, especially if Jay Ajayi is out. To me, it's a no-brainer. I'm giving this week to Joey. Love his matchup with Julio Jones. David Johnson's an absolute beast. He has Matthew Stafford against Arizona, which could be a little bit tough, but not sure what Kareem Hunt's going to be able to do against that Patriots defense, which is underrated. He has some tough matchups as well, but it's too much for my team to overcome, in all honesty.
I'm going with Tim to win this game. It's going to be a matchup he should not win, and it's kind of been like that the last 4 times they've played. He's had no reason to be competing with Joey's juggernaut team. No, your team sucked last year. But Tim's going to win by like 4.6. Julio Jones will drop a touchdown early in the game against the Bears, and that will end up costing Joey the victory.
If Jay Ajayi does not play in this game, because this game is going to get moved to week 11, which is stupid. But if it does happen, Bilal Powell is going to blow up for like 28 points.
Yep.
And that is what is going to seal Tim's victory. If Jay Ajayi is going to play, he's going to score like 14, and it's going to be a loss.
All right, fair enough.
Because you can't bench Jay Ajayi regardless. You can't do it.
No.
But I think that's what's going to be the difference maker.
We'll see if I can
Come
keep
Sunday, Tim's going to be tinkering, and we're going to see Bilal Powell out there.
Well, if Jay Ajayi is not playing, then yes, you're right. The streak's on the line, 4 in a row against Joey. See if Joey can finally beat me. I think he will, pretty handily, in all honesty. Next pick, we have next game, Justin against Josh Schultz.
It's going to be a good matchup. I was expecting Josh Schultz to draft well. You didn't. You were saying he was going to be a dumpster fire team. So these two this might be in the running for matchup of the week right now. It's probably between these two, and then Tim and Joey, depending on Tim's matchup. But I am going to give the edge to Josh Schultz. He's going to come out swinging, and Rob Gronkowski's going to give him a big-time lead after the Thursday night football game.
The Thursday is everything to me. If Gronk goes out there and scores 12 to 15 points, then I'm feeling confident if I'm Josh Schultz. If he goes up there and has a 4 or 5 point game, with a very un-Gronk-like, then I swing it towards Justin. I have high expectations for Justin's team this year. I have said that since we started talking about our league again, and I have Justin on top.
Yeah, Justin's got a chance to really, really put up some monster numbers, sneaky monster numbers. But so does Josh's team. Le'Veon Bell, if they decide to give him a full workload, I mean, he put up 30 points easy. But if they decide to give James Conner some carries later on, if they're beating the Cleveland Browns, pretty bad, then that's gonna hurt his overall numbers. I don't like Alshon Jeffrey. I just don't. Allen Robinson against Houston's a tough matchup. I'm not a fan of Stephon Diggs, but they play a pretty weak New Orleans defense. So I'm gonna lean towards Justin on this one, but I think it's gonna be very close.
Of all 6 receivers started in this game, Stephon Diggs will be the highest scoring.
Wow, I don't agree with that either. But
make the bet, pussy.
Next, so two.
You gonna bet?
One. What do you want? What's the bet?
$1.
All right, dollar bet that Stephon Diggs is not the highest scoring wide receiver
Can I get
in
odds?
this game. No, you may not.
God
you
damn
already
it.
agreed to it. Next matchup. Luke versus Jerry. Two teams that are not expected to do anything this year. I guess this is the loser will be early candidate for Beer Bitch.
Fucking boring.
What are your thoughts? There's still some big time names in this game.
Yeah, I just set Jerry's lineup so we could have something to look at, guys. So
You said it for him.
yeah, so we can talk about it, Otherwise, we're looking at a fucking screen of nothing.
I mean, if I'm Jerry, I'm happy, obviously, with Melvin Gordon because Denver's secondary is great, but they've struggled against the run in past years. LeGarrette Blount, you don't know what you're going to get, but Terrell Pryor with Washington, you like that. Kelvin Benjamin against San Fran, you like that. And Corey Coleman, you have to figure the Browns are going to be down by a lot. They're going to have to, throw the ball around a lot. So you like him there as well. Hunter Henry, I don't like that matchup at all. I think whatever backup tight end he's got, that with Jason Witten, I would start Jason Witten personally. But that's just me. On the flip side, you have Luke. Obviously, I mean, his matchup is kind of set. His guys are who they are. I don't see him making any.
I like what Luke did with his draft. Like his starters are okay. Like he's got McCoy, he's got Dak, he's got Dez, he's got Sammy, he's got Brandon Marshall, he's got Reed. But then after that, like his basically the rest of his draft after that and the rest of his team is pretty mediocre at best. Like Ted Ginn, Chris Thompson, Taylor Gabriel, Latavius Murray, C.J. Process, Jeremy Hill, Eric Decker. Those are guys that I wouldn't even really want to consider starting on bye weeks, and he's going to have to ride with those.
Luke drafted like he was from Wales.
Yeah, I will say I like Luke for the week one strictly for the
week one matchup.
For the chance he's got to double dip with Dak and Dez. If Dez goes off for a big game, that means Dak has done something. So
Dez will probably be under 6 points. I do like LaShawn McCoy a lot this week against the Jets. I think he's going to be their offense. I don't think he's got a great season-long value, but I think week one they're going to use him. They're going to use him a lot.
I'm going to lean towards Luke in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go with the guy who beat me up. I'm going to take Jerry. I don't want to get hit again, so I'll take Jerry for the win. Next matchup, Tom versus Spencer. Another a fun one.
It'll be interesting.
See, I don't think so. I don't. And this isn't even me being a dick to Spencer. I like Spencer's wide receivers. I'm the biggest Brandon Cooks fan here, and he's torched me how many times, but I don't like him week 1 against KC. Golden Tate has potential to struggle against Arizona, and Devontae Parker has been fantastic, but
Probably doesn't
he's
play.
not going to play. So what does he do then? Does he start Tyreek Hill, which is possible, but at the same point, going New England defense, which is highly underrated. If I'm him, I'm starting Mike Wallace against Cincinnati, in all honesty, but that's just me. He can do what he wants. John Ross is probably going to be out to like week 3. So his options really are Mike Wallace or Tyreek Hill to fill in for Devontae Parker. On the other side of the ball, Tom, I mean, your team is what it is. I don't think anything's going to change. Obviously, Zeke is not. Let's just say he's not going to play. Who knows?
Whoa.
Who knows? Let's just say, for
Whoa.
all intents and purposes, that he's not. Then you're probably going to just start Rob Kelly. Which would make sense. And I think no matter if Zeke starts, you beat Spencer by 30 points. If Zeke doesn't start, then you win by like 15 or 20. I don't think it's going to be much of a matchup, in all honesty.
I think it'll be closer than that. Look, right now, T.Y. Hilton is more of a wide receiver 3, in all honesty. I like Cooper's matchup. I like Martavis's matchup a lot. But the Giants have a rough time against Dallas. Well, scoring fantasy points, it'll probably be a somewhat low-scoring game, but Dak Prescott's been good at not turning the football over. We'll see if Zeke is playing. I will be relying on Russell Wilson and probably Amari Cooper and Martavis Bryant if I'm going to win this game. Right now, I'm projected to be one of the lowest scoring teams, so it'll be interesting. Not getting much love from ESPN or all the experts out there.
Both of you guys are on average going to score under 80 points, but I think that's
We're
'cause
both missing a guy.
Yeah, you both have Zeke. You have Zeke, or he has Parker. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Is the Parker thing actually ruled out already or no?
No, he doesn't have a kicker in right now.
Oh, he doesn't.
He
have a
picked
kicker,
up
that's
the
what it
Rams
is. Okay.
defense.
I was wondering why his point total was so low. Yeah, same thing. It just I look at Tom's team and I look at Spencer's team. It's just like Tom's is here, Spencer's is just one notch below. And if Ezekiel Elliott plays, then it's going to be a rough ride for Spencer on that. So
I'm just hoping that the Dolphins have hurricane issues the whole year. That way I win my bet with Parker not being a top 25 wide receiver.
we got 4 more minutes left. Let's
All right, so
breeze through this.
Kevin versus Mike.
Kevin.
I'm gonna give it to Mike. Dalvin Cook has a top 10 running back performance this week, and Jimmy Graham performs highly as well.
I'm giving it to Mike as well. No brainer.
I hope Kevin wins.
Sorry, Kev.
Yeah, I'm going towards Kevin on this one.
If Kevin wins, then Mike fire sales his whole team.
4 touchdowns to Christian McCaffrey dump off passes.
Next matchup, Josh versus Tommy.
I am extremely intrigued by this matchup. Tommy texted me earlier. He's like, I would go 1-12 if I beat Josh this week because that little bitch will sell his team like he did last year.
Wow.
That's what he said to me verbatim in a text.
Well, see-
so that's a lot of pressure on Josh Stevens right now.
Tommy talks a lot of shit on the message boards and stuff, but he sat there and heard the whole league and even yourself talking about plowing his sister in the ass, and he said nothing. Nothing. He sat there with a sock on his mouth and took it.
What was he supposed to do though? It's kind of
I don't know anything.
Tackle you. And then you beat his ass like Jerry beat up Tim.
Yeah. I am taking Josh to win this one.
I'm just a little nervous with Jaquiz and Mike Evans if that game is indeed canceled. Big time losses for him, but love Larry Fitzgerald this week against Detroit. I'm playing the fuck out of him in daily.
I think the big question is, who do you play at running back if Jaquiz is out? Do you play Joe Mixon or do you play Tariq Cohen?
That is the question.
You have to go with Joe Mixon.
I honestly, when I saw this, I thought Josh is going to start Tariq Cohen. Bears are going to be down.
There's no fucking way.
Okay.
There will be a point in time where I feel pretty comfortable starting Tariq Cohen later on if I absolutely have to.
Week 1, Tariq Cohen starts the NFL fantasy season.
It's possible. No, I feel like if anything happens, I feel like Joe Mixon has to be the guy.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, gents.
It's going to be a great week. God, I can't wait.
Can't wait. Good draft, everyone. Fun times.
Beautiful draft.
That's all I got.
After that, we've drafted now. Let's pick a winner of the league. Final matchups. Don't pick each division. Just I want the finals. Who's in the finals?
I'm going to go Josh Schultz versus Justin.
I have Justin versus Josh Stevens.
Oh, that's interesting. No Joey, huh?
Nope.
Wow.
No,
I'm gonna win. It doesn't matter.
Joey, Tom, and Spencer will not win